Hello, hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? I hope everyone is okay. I hope everyone is well. We are starting the show right now and just show you guys what we're talking about here. Oh, damn it. Talking about maybe, Operation Epic Vengeance. I thought this was an appropriate name. Now, my feelings on this is that if you're gonna call it this, you gotta finish the job. You gotta let the operation roll, and you gotta finish the job. And after you do that, well, you know what? Then you can call it. I want to go through some videos today, see what's going on. I want to start with breaking news to see what is the latest reports that we have on what's happening. But I'm going to give you guys like 5 minutes to get in here. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you feel. We got some videos we can go over here. I think I got some videos here we can share. Limited ground forces? Yeah, I've been saying that's gonna happen. People don't want to hear it, but I'm like, I mean, what do you mean no boots on the ground? Was that, that's kind of the way I say it. What do you mean by that? There's different levels. So different levels to this. See if I can share a different screen. Oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure I get the audio on this. Got it. Okay. Now we got it. Sure the audio's good. Okay, here we go. If the IRGC keeps talking this shit, you know what bases we're gonna start using? Pickaxe, Isfahan, Fardo, and Natanz. I just realized I didn't have the video on screen. I apologize.
So this is the latest. Iran is now warning the UK. They have a brand new prime minister, and they've given us a little bit of backup here. But now Iran says that they should not be allowing, the UK should not allow U.S. bombers to use the UK bases. And that's coming from the Iranian media. You
know what's going to fix that problem? if we took Pickaxe, Isfahan, Fordow, and Natanz under a new government in Iran, and we made them bases in the Middle East, then we wouldn't need the UK. Like, one of the things we need to decouple from is fucking Europe. Until they get their shit together, we should decouple.
That new Prime Minister Andy Burnham reportedly continuing a policy to let the U.S. use the bases for defensive strikes. You know that President Trump has been very unhappy with the backup that we've seen from Europe, especially given that they use oil from the Strait and energy from the Strait in such massive quantities. But they're happy to sit back and let the United States take care of this issue. Meanwhile, a live look at oil prices. That's not good. Getting close to 90. $100 a barrel earlier, but has backed off a little bit after the attacks on Saudi oil tankers in the Red Sea by Iran-backed Houthis. So they're sort of...
I don't know if this is the West Texas Index or if this is Brent crude.
Firing up the Houthi arm of the proxies of Iran in a rather significant way lately as well. So former CIA Covert Operations Officer Mike Baker is here with me live. At First Two Chief International Correspondent Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. As the wires are crossing now that the Kuwaiti army says air defenses are currently intercepting Iranian hostile drone threats. Steve.
That's right, Martha. This is something we've seen now for the past 24 hours. Iran continuing to attack U.S. allies in the region, places where there are U.S. bases. Just seconds ago, Kuwait saying it's activated its air defenses. Earlier in the day, parts of Kuwait were hit. They were attacked by drones from Iran. No casualties in those attacks, but definitely some damage done. So Iran continues to reach out, to lash out against its neighbors in the region. In the meantime, the Revolutionary Guard is now threatening the United Kingdom, basically saying, because you have allowed the U.S. to use your air bases to launch B-1 bomber missions against Iran, that your bases now are legitimate military targets for Iran. The UK responded quickly, saying the UK stands ready 24/7 to defend itself. As far as that.
Well, let's see about that. Defend itself, yes, but, are you going to defend your commercial routes? Okay, we have a message here. Well, this message was 5 hours ago, so this isn't breaking news. Isn't like I didn't even put the scrolling message. We have a message here. His Royal Highness Pahlavi is making history. Did he have a new message? I am Marie says shake. We will speak about the sheiks, and we also have to talk about the Bab al-Mandeb, also known as the Gate of Tears. There is a place there called Djibouti. It is possible that one of the leaders there is the Sheikh. And, if we have to talk about Sheikh Djibouti, we will talk about Sheikh Djibouti.
B-1 bomber goes, this is really a game changer. It carries 75,000 pounds of conventional weapons. They are huge. They don't need stealth features if you do control the sky, which is the case in much of Iran. They can be refueled in the air, and they can hit multiple targets on the same mission. So really a potent weapon now being used in the region. And it comes as oil has now topped $100 a barrel. This comes after Houthi terrorist rebels in Yemen managed to attack and strike 2 Saudi tankers in the Red Sea. By doing so, they've caused the price of oil to spike and also potentially raised a potential second front in this war. Martha, back to you.
Steve, thank you. Steve Harrigan in Tel Aviv. And with that, as promised, Mike Baker joins me here, former...
Okay. Yeah, let's just let it roll.
CIA Covert Operations Officer, CEO of the Portman Square Group, and host of the President's Daily Brief podcast. Mike, where do you think this is? Thank you for being here, first of all. It's always good to see you. Where do you think this is going?
Well, it's not going to end anytime soon. I feel pretty confident in saying that. The problem is the Iranian regime has essentially come to a point that they've been thinking about for decades, which is an existential conflict with the U.S. And the regime, the leadership, believes that's where they are right now. So they pushed all their chips in, right? I know that the White House is saying, oh, they're desperate to make a deal. They keep talking to us about they want to make a deal, but we, meaning the U.S., aren't ready. Well, interestingly enough, the Iranian regime is saying the same thing about the U.S. So the Iranian regime is saying, well, the U.S. is desperate to make a deal, but we're not ready. So that
I want to look at this map. It says reports of explosions over here near the strait. This could be Al Shabbat base. What Shabbat? I don't remember the name of the base. Reported airstrikes. I don't see any in that. Yeah, I see. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That seems to be most of them. Confirmed airstrike. I only see one. Reports of explosion without footage. There's a lot of strikes going on.
kind of tells you there's no off-ramp just yet. And I think that the problem is that every time we engage in another strike, right, we get the same, again, it's like Groundhog Day. So we get the same response from the Iranian regime. And at the end of the day, unless this regime goes, and nobody in Washington wants to say regime change, right? So we've defined the mission as they'll never get a nuclear weapon. But that's kicking the can down the road, which every administration has done, right? So every time you say that and we've got to deal with them, right, you know that you're just putting lipstick on a pig, right? And you're saying, okay, the next administration can deal with this. So I think we have to define the mission.
Okay, here is something I agree with them here. It may seem like, you know, like we're naysayers or we're going against the president, but I think this needs to be said. Hola, hola, ¿cómo está? Bienvenida aquí al programa. Venga, comparte con nosotros. Hello, welcome to the show. Come here, share with us. Strikes, yes, strikes are continuing. 13th days in a row. 13th day in a row. But what he's talking about is the reality of the IRGC, the reality of how they operate, how they function, their past, their present, and what undoubtedly will be their future if they continue in power. Like, you can't deal with these people. Like, this is literally putting lipstick on a pig. If you get them to sit down and make a deal, right, they're just gonna lie. Like, if Golibov could say, okay, fuck what the Durkas are saying. If they get too rowdy, we'll shoot them just like we fucking shot the other people. We don't give a shit if it's like 15% or 1%. Everybody's going to get in fucking line or they're going to die. If you basically make it Cuba, right? Or make it like any, like, you know, any country that's that crazy where they just, look, we don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. We're making the deal. Whoever doesn't like it, I will shoot in the fucking face. I don't care how many come out in your little fucking sad penguin dresses. We're just gonna fucking kill all of you. I don't give a shit if you're an Islamist. I don't give a shit if you believe that this is the gateway to the prophecy or the apocalypse. You're just fucking if a fucking mullah does it, we'll fucking do a kangaroo court on that mullah and we'll kill him. And if one of these preachers and one of these fucking singers says it, we're gonna fucking do a trial on him and we're gonna fucking kill him. And we're gonna kill all you sad penguin motherfuckers because you're so ready to die. We're gonna make your fucking wish come true. You will accept the deal or you die. And then they make a deal. And whoever doesn't get in line, they kill. They kill 5,000 more. But they kill 5,000 Durkas. And the deal is done and they accept it. What's going to happen? They're going to enrich. They're going to do it later. They're going to lie. They're going to stockpile. And then we are kicking it down the road. Because in a generation or less, they're just going to do it again. Like the best case scenario, they sign on. If anybody complains, they kill them. Instead of killing seculars, they start killing Durkas because the Durkas are against the deal. They completely signed the deal. They absolutely inspect whatever you want. Give it 5 months, give it 10 months, give it a year. Then they start doing the same shit again. Why? Because you left them in charge. That's the fucking problem. Even worse, they said, forget nuclear. We're going into biological. They can't detect that shit. We're going to combine corona with rabies and Ebola. So we can have ourselves a little zombie virus that we can launch at all our neighbors and the whole planet and hope it infects the whole planet. So what happens if they completely renounce nuclear? You think that's a good thing? You think they're going to stop looking for weapons of mass destruction because you took away their nuclear? They're not going to stop. How are you going to monitor that? You had fucking biolabs in California from China you couldn't detect. How the fuck are you going to detect if the IRGC, backed by Russia and China, because they're so fucking stupid, they don't understand the how crazy these people are. They start making crazy viruses, put them in cluster bomb missiles, and start launching it at all their neighbors. Oh, but they gave up nuclear weapons. I don't give a shit what they gave up. If they have a little meeting down there and say, hey, look, don't worry about the nukes. Give up the nukes. We're not looking at this situation. This focus on the nuke is what's making them stupid. They're worst. If they would have just given up on nukes, given up on centrifuges, and focused on bioweapons, we wouldn't be able to touch them. They would be right now in a position where we can't touch them because bioweapons are a lot cheaper and a lot harder to detect. So they wouldn't be under so many sanctions. They probably have a lot more missiles. So you can't just, oh, they gave up missiles, so let's make a deal. No, no, no. Like, I like Trump, but I'm glad that he's not making a deal because you can't make a deal. Oh, they want to make a deal. Let them want to make a deal all they want. Don't make the deal. Hola.
As if we want peace and stability, long-term opportunity for the people of Iran and that entire region and the U.S. national security interests, the regime has to go. But they hate to say that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're saying this because it's the elephant in the room.
Right.
It's the most obvious element of all of this.
Hallelujah. Preach. I hadn't seen this before, but I'm glad they agree with me.
Is that if you don't get rid of this leadership, which now really looks a lot more like a military leadership than anything else.
There's a lot of leftists that think that their sunshine and rainbows is going to save them from a bio outbreak. It's going to save them from the next SARS combined with rabies, combined with Ebola. You let the IRGC run wild and they just, oh, yes, yes, we give up the nuclear. Yes, yes. Get the bio lab ready. You're going to be fucked. You can't just count, oh, nuclear. Well, they give up nuclear. We just had the largest transfer of wealth from the working class to the banking class through the prohibition of work. I'm talking at the low level. I'm not talking at the high level. At the high level, lots of medium and medium businesses were also gobbled up by big business, right? Because your mom and I'm talking, this is small business. Your mom and pop store wasn't an essential business, but Walmart was. Due to the prohibition of work, all those properties, all those mortgages were lost. All those businesses, no matter how many breaks they got, how much the government furloughed or did whatever they were going to do, they lost. So a lot of their businesses didn't come back. A lot of the people just weren't going out anymore. A lot of their businesses, a lot of their customers adapted to just getting everything from Amazon and doing everything at home. And that was COVID. A virus made in Wuhan. You think, yeah, the stimulus, after the stimulus checks run out, you're not getting your business back. Those jobs are gone. A lot of those businesses moved out. A lot of those people got used, like there's a lot of restaurants that just because that you have your mortgage for your business, you have your rent to your business, you have your rent for your vehicles. Sometimes you're renting equipment. Sometimes you have staff that can't just wait and they have to leave, and they don't, unemployment's not going to back them up. There's a lot of people that are just going to move. So many things were not working out. You got to pay health insurance. You got to pay so many things, and so many small businesses can't complete. Yeah, a lot of insurance doesn't cover this shit. A lot of these people didn't get their insurance. The ones who made a lot of money were the PPP scammers. They made a lot of money. Wow. Wow. Skill issues, smallest matters to create lots of small businesses. Okay. Okay. So you're saying, I mean, are we going to let the foreigners defraud us, or do we do it to ourselves? Wow. Wow. I'm not going to argue with that. You might be right, but I'm just going to say, wow, that's fucked up. That is fucked up. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I got a video about this skill issue. I got a video about that coming up. It's a funny one. After this, we're going to go into a funny video.
The IRGC seems to be.
Okay, so when I say wow, that's me sarcastically saying, damn, that's a good joke. Ah, man, that's you got me. You got me. You fucking got me.
Really running the show, and now they don't have to answer to the Ayatollah anymore, it appears, because the Ayatollah is quiet and we haven't seen him.
He's like the Claude Rains of Ayatollahs,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
He's made no appearance.
Exactly. So we haven't seen him since the February strikes. But that does feel like the reality. You need a catalyst shift. Either it's a massive attack that changes the dynamic, but your point is well taken, that we see this back and forth. You need a massive shift in military structure and strength, or removing another layer. We got 1 and 2.
It doesn't. You can keep removing layers, right? Again, they've thought about this since 1979, in a sense, right? I mean, they've been chanting death to America since then. They've been thinking about this and what this could look like. So you can take out another layer. It's like taking out leadership in a terrorist organization like Hamas or Hezbollah, which of course are funded and financed and trained by Iran. They've got a limitless pool of talent.
Plus, attacking them inspires some of the younger members,
it inspires the younger members.
They want to move up.
Right. So you're absolutely right when you say it's a military leadership. That's by all credible intelligence. That's what we're looking at now. You're looking at the.
Okay, we have perhaps some OSINT reports about a base being hit in Yazd. We'll take a look at that.
The IRGC has hardened their leadership position. They've climbed to the top, and they've always been important. Obviously, they've got their fingers in everything in that economy. But
every business, they have ownership in oil. They've got they've got their hands in every bit of the business, and they don't care about the people of Iran. Well, when you
slaughter thousands and thousands of your own citizens, I think it kind of tells you where they sit. But so I think Mojtaba Khamenei is basically rubber stamping. If he's alive, he's basically just being presented with, okay, this is what we're going to do next.
How good do you think the intel is on him with your intel background? I mean, is he alive? Is he in another country? There was some indication of that earlier this week.
Yeah, Israeli intelligence was saying, we believe that he may have fled, or they've moved him out of the country. The intelligence is very imperfect. Unfortunately, it's a little bit like our bomb damage assessments of Natanz and the other nuclear facilities. How much did we do? We didn't obliterate it, but what did we do? It's still hard to figure that out. Intel has always been a heavy lift for Iran. We've always relied heavily on
Israelis are pretty good at it.
They're very good, and we've relied on our liaison partners, the Gulf partners. You talked earlier about this idea that nobody's helping, right? We got to be a little careful about that, because the Gulf states have been very helpful in their own ways. They just don't want to publicize.
And it feels like that's the ticket to the game change shift. A really forceful entry by the Gulf states to make it very clear to Iran that they are the man out.
Yeah, and the Saudis may do that now.
They may do that. Yeah, they may do that. Very interesting. Mike Baker, always great to talk to you.
All right, I have a report here I want to share with you guys. This is coming from Jesse Waters. I believe this is the real account of Jesse Waters. All right, I just want to verify over here, because this appears to be a Fox video, right? So let's just open it up, and we're gonna call this Where is breaking news? Where the hell is breaking news? Oh my God, this is where Trump files, Iran escalates. You know what? I'll go with this one. This is fine. U.S. strikes hit Iran regime targets. This is fine.
Fox News alert, bombs away.
This is a video from 46 minutes ago.
Central Command delivering devastating blows against Iran. Targets include missile and drone facilities, coastal surveillance sites, and air defense. B-1 bombers tore into the mullahs for the first time since the ceasefire. The long-range jets packed with 2,000-pound bombs flying at the speed of sound. Our electronic warfare aircraft also headed into theater, deployed out of Maine. They're stopping over in the UK. And it jams enemy communications, radars, and navigation. And they're only in the fight when it's a real one. Once Iran caught wind, they threatened to bomb the British base. Good luck. Our F-16 Wild Weasels are back in action. Their motto, first in, last out. You fly into enemy territory, detect radars, destroy them, and clear the battle space for everybody else. Trump wants revenge.
Karachi, their foreign minister, who the other day say or something about their policies, an eye for an eye. The president's policy head for an eye. I mean, they will pay a very heavy.
Anybody with a pulse to bail them out.
I hope that they'll stop. They shouldn't really.
Is it me or is this video out of sync? Am I going crazy here?
And by the way, that's, I was reading reports a few hours ago that there was actually.
Let me give it a refresh.
And clear the battle space for everybody else.
Yeah, this video is a little out of sync. I got another post here. Now, here the source says, Koramabad in Iran, Iran reported to be under attack. Side note, wanted to take a minute to maybe shout out to my, Fakest Network. Okay, I mean, if this guy likes them, they're probably good. I never heard of them before, but I heard of it. Like, it's like if this guy's recommend, I think someone in the chat talked about this a little earlier in the show. Like, hey, if you were asking about Fakest, they seem well recommended. I will give you that. Let's see what we got here. This is St. Petersburg. Okay, this might be a different war. You know what? I'll give them a follow. I'll give them a follow, and I should already follow Libs of Tech Talks. Cat Turd can be annoying, but they can also be cool. So I don't know, because I want to be more focused on news, and they're more focused on. I'm not going to show this because obviously it's got graphic warning. The National Revolutionary Guard, Revolutionary Front, the National Revolutionary Front Islamist Patani group attacked a checkpoint at Rangai. I don't know where this. Oh, in Thailand. Okay, killing at least 5 Thai Rangers. Attackers appeared to be M16A1s. That's let me see this. Let me see this on a separate screen. Like, how do you know? Let's take a look at this. So this is the problem with Islamism, with jihadism. Oh, I see. I can't really show it. I can't show this. But it appears some Islamists are going crazy again. Okay. Okay. So let's see who this person really is. We got some Candace Owens news. Candace Owens went from suing her high school over alleged racism to being a groupie in a hip-hop music videos, to interning at Vogue, to become the CEO at the left-wing feminist blog, giving tech talks on social activism, and starting a doxing website targeting hate speech, including minors. So she would dox minors. Okay. Then she came out as conservative after it became popular following Trump's election.
Yeah, Erica, you have been on a wild pursuit of fame and
Oh, so this is just projection. Okay.
fortune your entire life.
Oh, she was a fly girl. Oh my God. You guys see this? The level of hypocrisy.
And you have not stopped wanting to be in the spotlight.
Oh my God. Uh-oh.
Every person you have dated has had some degree of fame, and you saw Charlie as your ticket to more.
That was what Candace was doing. Seeing him. Look at her here. She's jealous. That's what's going on. She's jealous of Erica Kirk.
And then you finally got it. Finally, Erica.
Finally stole my meal ticket.
For you, after decades of trying, you had made it into the spotlight and everybody loved you. Brand, merchandising, shirts, money, and fame. There was no substance in this article because there was no substance in you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Because today is obviously a day of celebration. Yes, in case you missed it, we officially have become the #1 podcast in the...
That's what's behind Candace Owens. That's her motivation. We are going to look at this also. We want some clips from Elon. This is also important. Let me get back to your messages over here. Yeah. No one knew who Erica was until Kirk died because she wasn't trying to be in the spotlight. If she wanted to be in the spotlight, she would be, obviously. I have 2 videos from other haters. All right. But that was a little rough. So first, the video I want to show you. Let me see if I can find it. It's from a guy that's calling out, one of the haters. There's a person calling out one of the haters to a debate. And I want to see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Now, this is a rabbi. And he's making a video about all these people that hate on Jewish people for controlling everything. This is the person that's challenging Nick Fuentes. All right, this is the challenge.
The Jews in control, they control the money. So who will control the money? You compare yourself to the chosen people, you don't see their blessing by God? It's good for you that they run the country and they run the world and they run economy. The whole world came to destroy the Jews. All the empires, all of them are gone, and the Jews remain always in power.
This is the guy that's challenging Nick Fuentes. It's Nick Fuentes versus this guy.
It's unheard of. According to the laws of nature, the Jews should have died already in the first year after they got the Torah, when Amalek already came. They had no army, no weapon. They're in the middle of the desert with their children, and all of a sudden they are being attacked one day after the other. Back then already it was a huge miracle to survive. 3,300 years of pogroms and Holocaust and all kinds of wars and empire coming to Jerusalem to burn us alive.
And they keep surviving.
All those empires disappeared, and we are above everybody, always in power, always we are the head of the world. Imagine the world without us. The world would be 1,000 years more primitive. All the inventions in the world almost all come from Jews.
Look, I gotta admit, you can't build a gaming PC without Israel. All right, they're deep in the tech. Like, you know, I don't mean to like, you know, kiss nobody's ass, but this man is just like spitting some straight facts.
Jews, mainly Israelis. Medicine, doctors, surgeons, biggest judges in America, all kinds of designers, architects, artists, musicians, big rabbis, philosophers. Try to imagine the world without the Jews. And the Jews are 0.25% from the population. And the Goyim gets angry. The Jews in control, the Jews in control, they control the money. So who will control the money? You? You compare yourself to the chosen people. You don't see their blessing by God. It's good for you that they run the country and they run the world and they run a economy.
I mean, you know what? I'm not gonna lie right here. He's spitting straight facts.
I want to remind you that the United States was on a point of bankruptcy in 2008. Everything here was about to destroy it. And who saved this country? Ben Shalom Bernanke. He was the chairman of the Fed, the Federal Reserve. He was a religious Jew, Shomer Shabbat. Even though in public he didn't show his yarmulke, but he would walk to synagogue on Shabbat. And he made some brilliant moves with the interest, bringing it down, bailing out banks, forcing the big banks to buy the small banks before the country will become a complete anarchy and chaos. People would kill each other here on the street. United States will become worse than Russia after USSR collapsed. And he saved this country, but they have zero gratitude. A religious Jew with his brilliance, this economist, Bernanke, Google it. You don't have to believe me. See the moves he made. You should teach it in schools.
Okay, so the sabotage came from the Democrats. They removed Glass-Steagall so you could bet on houses being paid or not. Then they made some laws that you had to give loans to people that basically didn't qualify over racial issues and that kind of thing, right? And then they would package these bunches of houses they would call them a credit default swaps, and they would package their mortgage assets, right, as if they were going to get paid. But some people started looking at the market and say, these motherfuckers aren't going to pay. They're not going to pay. This is there was Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and Ginnie Mae. They've been doing this over and over. They do these things where they give loans to people who can't afford it, take advantage of them, because that's what business is going to do. If you create that door, it's just a path of least resistance. And the people are just going to give loans to people who don't deserve it, because who's backing it? Well, the US dollar is backing it. It's not backed by you need to make sure that you're lending to people who can pay you. Oh, well, fuck it. If they don't pay, the government will pay. That's what happened. That's what the Democrats wrote into the law. And then this motherfucker has to solve the problem when, oops, nobody can pay and we don't have enough money. Yeah, I'm talking about the 2008 credit default swaps with the crisis, with the mortgage, the bailouts. Yes. But if you don't do that, then the dollar becomes worthless. So you have to understand the collusion between the Democrats and some of these people that got bailout is more where your focus should be. Why did Clinton remove Glass-Steagall? Like, a lot of people don't know about Glass-Steagall, right? And I'm not saying I know about Glass-Steagall, but I know you're not supposed to bet on housing. I know that's always a bad idea, which is why this Glass-Steagall shit was a bad idea, because repealing Glass-Steagall and then creating a whole bunch of agencies to back loans that should have never been backed over things like race and equality led to packages of loans, of mortgages sitting in the bank that were never going to get repaid. And when someone took a hard look at it, they say, I'm going to bet against that. I'm going to bet those people can't pay. Yeah. We got Ginnie Mae, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac. Ginnie Mae was the first one to go. But if you remember Ginnie Mae came before all this. Ginnie Mae was like in the 70s. And it was the first form of this evil. When they saw it work back then, a hurricane came and wiped out all the houses that just got loans to it, and there was no insurance. So you didn't have the home because the hurricane took it, and you didn't have you didn't have the money to pay. They would say, "Oh, the hurricane took everything but the rent, but the mortgage. Like, you still had to pay." So that was a problem. So that's the shit he's talking about. Like, people like to point at the bailouts and say, "Hey, you're the villain. Why did you do this?" But you have to understand the root of the problem. It's a bunch of Democrats in government that started betting on other people's houses, allowing business to not have to worry who pays for the bet. Basically, bet all you want. It's the government's money. If you can't pay, you lose the house, but I won't lose the money. The government is gonna pay me, and the government gets to keep the house. And you couldn't pay? Oh, too bad. No, this isn't about insurance. This is about mortgage. But I understand what you mean about insurance. A lot of those people didn't have insurance. They had what FEMA could give. We're talking about the Ginnie Mae was back in the 70s. This was a long time ago. That was the first one. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and I don't know if there's another one. That came later.
Country was on the point of all the banks will go bankrupt. You don't know what happened. I was in Wachovia Bank. It was a powerful bank. They went bankrupt. He forced Wells Fargo to buy them. He forced Chase to buy many banks. If not, do you know how much money people would lose? And the FDIC was up to, I think, 50,000 per account. That's it. People had millions in their account, life-saving.
That's also true. The FDIC, oh yeah, the FDIC will secure the money you got in there up to a limit. The FDIC insurance on your whatever money you have in the bank, it has a limit. Let me see what it says here. The mortgages were insured through swap lines, and the companies who insured them went bankrupt almost instantly. Yes.
All of that will be wiped out. Big mortgage companies collapsed. This country in 2008 was in a disaster. And who saved the country?
Democrats are still doing it. Yes. The new version of this is student loans.
One brilliant religious Jew. Anybody appreciate it? No, nobody even speaks about it.
Okay, let's see what Nick Fuentes, this is the guy who challenged Nick Fuentes. Let's see what Nick Fuentes has to say about this.
Rabbi Mizrahi challenged me to a debate. Increasingly, I'm not even interested, only because I don't know what we debate about. You know, this Rabbi Mizrahi, he's this Orthodox Jew from Israel. He was on Matan Evans, and He did a thing with Sneeko recently, and I saw he called me out on Adam Green. He said, I'd like to debate him. And I want to say, I don't even know what we're going to debate about anymore, man. I think I agree with you on everything now. I think Rabbi Mizrahi was right about literally everything.
Nick Fuentes now hates the Goyim. He's on the side of the Jews. He's praying to Hashem.
When Rabbi Mizrahi says that 6 billion Goyim need to be put to death and go to hell.
Okay, that's a joke. Google, YouTube, that's a joke.
I'm like, I feel like that's the moderate position right now.
Do you see how
that
that's
almost
a joke?
sounds like too moderate. You got anything else? Are there any Jews that are more extreme than that? Is that the best you got? Surely there's an Orthodox rabbi that's even more extreme, because I'm getting to the point, I'm just shooting right past that. A couple of years ago, I would have said, this is outrageous. I can't believe these Jews want to kill all the Goyim. They think we're all going to hell. Now I'm like, this guy's the moderate. Where's the real Jews? Where are the real Jews that want to put all the Goyim? The 6 billion's not enough.
This is kind of crazy, but it's funny. What he's saying is that when he saw Candace Owens, what was the other guy? Jake Shields, Ian Carroll, all these retards on the anti-Semitism train, he's like, I gotta get off. I'm on a train full of retards. I can't breathe the same air as these retards. Get me off the anti-Semitism train. He always looks okay. Facts. Nick always looks to me like he is wearing a yarmulke. Maybe he's a secret Jew. Maybe he went in there like a Pied Piper to play a tune for the anti-Semites, get them all dancing along to the tune, and then walk them out of anti-Semitism. Now, I'm just kidding. I don't trust this guy. But hearing them say this, after I've seen him be like one of the worst one of the most renowned anti-Semites ever, it's funny. It's hilarious to me.
Rabbi Mizrahi wants to kill all the Goyim except the Muslims. I'm like, where's the rabbi that just wants to put them all to death?
You guys understand why I think this is hilarious? This is hilarious. A lot of you people don't know who Nick Fuentes is. If you know who this guy is, you understand that this is mind-breaking. This is hilarious.
Put them all to death. Send them all to hell. Where's that guy? I'll debate Rabbi Mizrahi from the right. I'm going to say this. What is this guy? Some kind of liberal reform Jew? This is a Jew in name only. All the real Jews know that all Goyim need to die.
That's a joke, YouTube. That's a joke. Actually, I've seen other people to review this video, so I know YouTube allows these videos to be reviewed. Yeah, he's a Jew hater, but he still looks like he has a yarmulke. You can almost see it back there.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at lately. It comes full circle like that, isn't it? That's how it always seems to go. So anyway, nah, that's a joke. I didn't mean that. I'm obviously kidding. That's totally a joke, and I don't feel that way at all. No, I don't know.
Oh, that's a joke. That's a joke.
That would be an interesting discussion. But like I said, my heart just wouldn't be in it. I'm going to represent the Goyim, and I'm going to say what? No, don't kill us. Don't kill all the Goyim. No, don't kill all the Goyim. They deserve to live. They're not animals. They're human beings too. I mean, we're human beings too. My heart just wouldn't be in it. I can't defend a position that I don't really believe in. People are going to say, Nick, what happened to Nick the Knife? What happened? Used to be so hardcore. I'm going to say, guys, my heart just wasn't in that one. I don't believe that anymore. They were right.
He doesn't believe it anymore.
No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. I'm on the side of the human beings that are definitely ensouled. They definitely have souls and dignity and endowed with human rights.
Of course, Candace Owens has a soul, maybe.
People like Dan Bilzerian and Jake Shield.
Of course he has a soul, maybe.
People like Ian Carroll and Candace Owens.
Yeah, sure.
I'm standing up for their dignity as human beings, their fundamental dignity and equality as human beings.
He can't believe who he's on the train with. He can't take it. He can't take the company he's in.
I'm with them. I stand proudly among those people, and I stand up for their fundamental integrity as living creatures. Right. Definitely. Rabbi was right. You can't kill these people. That would be a grave sin. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. Just a little bit of, no, I'm just joking a little bit. Definitely just joking. Of course, those are human beings that deserve rights. And Rabbi Mizrahi is wrong. He is wrong to say that they, you know, that if they vanish from the earth, the amount of souls would remain unchanged.
I mean, I've heard Candace talk about Erica Kirk. Like, I understand why some people would say Candace has no soul because of the way she attacks Erica Kirk. I understand that the shit that Ian Carroll talks about, the shit that Ian Carroll talks about Jews might make you think they have no soul. I understand that the shit that Jake Shields talks might make you think they have no soul, but of course they have souls. Now, I gotta explain to you. I'm not backing this guy. I'm not trusting this guy. This guy has been on the anti-Semite train for a very long time. All right. I'm not gonna like pretend. I'm not gonna pretend that, oh yeah, no, he's definitely changed his way. He definitely loves Jews now.
The Groyper stoners were insisting, it's not addictive, bro. The Foyds were unusually quiet. Catholics got bodied by the Prots, as tradition dictates. Sadly, white Ricans dog any influencer. I know everyone knows about the Jews and none follow. If we were to participate.
The new Israel is the church. What is the story? The story of Jacob idea.
Brother, I'm watching some of these videos. Some of them I can't play them. I'm trying to, you know, I can't play this shit because they get a little too wild. But Nick is hating the fucking the Goyim. Nick hates the Goyim now.
And single-handedly took Russia and turned it into a superpower. There were a lot of casualties, no doubt, but you know, Russia was like a farm country, and it turned into.
Mao Zedong is a.
I'm gonna try to explain to you why I don't trust him.
Oh, as an admirer.
Joseph Stalin, after the revolution, became the dictator and single-handedly took Russia and turned it into a superpower. There were a lot of casualties, no doubt, but you know, Russia was like a farm country, and it.
This is the extreme right.
Turned into the #1 superpower in the world.
Thought I was like making fun of Mao Zedong, which I never would and never will. Mao Zedong is a one of the great leaders of this world, okay? A man who changed the entire universe, the entire planet. I mean, there was a lot of fucking excesses, let's be real, but the People's Republic of China would not exist without Mao Zedong.
You're a fan of Stalin's.
Mm-hmm. Oh, as an admirer.
Joseph Stalin, after the revolution, became.
You guys see? Like the extreme left and the extreme right align on way too many things. So, you know, that's a problem. Now, I want to show you some J.D. Vance news. What do you guys think about J.D. Vance? Eric Doherty is telling us U.S. Secret Service just caught leaker in Vice President J.D. Vance's security detail, who may now face criminal investigation. Good. The agent suspected of leaking is now placed on leave and under internal investigation. And an internal investigation will ensue per New York Post. I don't know if I trust the New York Post. I mean, they're kind of in the middle. The leaker apparently was the source of liberal media story that Vance's security detail is fed up with his travel. Okay, that I buy. Okay. You know what? Now I buy it. Man, we're sick of this shit. Go to the way of Pakistan again, and y'all don't do shit? You know what? Give them a medal. Okay, now what is apparently was the source of the little media story that Vance's security is fed up with travel. Do you guys think that traveling to Pakistan and back a couple of times for nothing would make you feel fed up? Do you guys buy that this leaker might be telling the truth? Secret Service says the member of the Secret Service Presidential Protective Division is subject to administrative investigation and potential criminal inquiry involving allegations of compromising operational information security. Right. Okay. So you can't tell if the morale is low. Okay. But is anybody going to doubt that? Couldn't everybody have guessed? Is there any doubt? Like I can't really call this like a wow, breaking news. Traveling to Pakistan for nothing sucks. Breaking news, guys. Breaking news. Breaking news. I got some more breaking news for you guys here. Now, you guys remember how they say, "Oh, the right wing does terrorism too." What about when those two people in Minnesota got killed? Those Democrat senators that got killed. Breaking Tim Walz appointee, Vance Bolter, who claimed Walz put him up for the killing of Melissa Hortman, sentenced to 2 terms of life in prison. This comes after the politician killed by Bolter voted against the bill that would have listen to it. This comes after the politician, we're talking about Melissa Hortman, voted against the bill that would have helped, voted against a bill that would have helped Somali fraud. So they had a bill that helps fraud, and she voted against a bill that would have helped the fraud. Like she said, she didn't want to do the fraud. This guy shows up and shoots her, and this guy used to work for Tim Walz. Like they didn't march lockstep. She voted with the Republicans. You see, this is where I would like to see Vance. Okay, look at this. Authorities arrest fugitive behind an alleged 547 million Medicare fraud. Vance's anti-fraud task force arrested in Middle East with a fake Mexican passport using a fake name. I'd like him more on the home front. I want to keep him the hell away from any negotiation. Like, I don't know if this is true. I'm just hearing this from the chat, but I don't doubt it because he's pretty good on the fraud shit. Where I hate him is when it has anything to do with the Middle East. Okay, we have some thoughts. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. America saying in reference to Pence, to JD Pence. Yes, JD Vance is kind of JD Pence. He's kind of out here for himself. Let's see what this says.
Portman, the Minnesota state rep that had her life taken from her by Tim Walz's aide after voting to take away health care from illegal immigrants.
She was unalived in her home by Vance Bolter, who was later
Unalived. I hate that term.
caught after a manhunt. He then sent a letter to the FBI and Kash Patel saying that it was Tim Walz who forced him to do it.
He said Tim Walz put him onto it.
Both Vance Bolter and his wife worked for Tim Walz for years in different states. Was Melissa Hortman unalived because she voted against a multi-billion-dollar money laundering fraud?
Yes, that's what I believe.
The fraud that she voted against that heavily implicated illegal aliens, specifically Somalians, who have been racketing this kind of childcare, healthcare rackets and cooperating with our corrupt government. And today it's breaking news that the money laundering scam in Minnesota of billions of dollars for healthcare offices, child daycares, Medicaid, and various forms of care agencies. These money laundering frauds have been exposed. And it all comes back to Tim Waltz.
Bro, look at this image. Friends. Frauds. I'm sorry, it says frauds. That's Tim Walz. I think this is Elon Omar. This is one. These two are Minnesota. I think it's they are either congressmen or local reps. These two I don't know.
Waltz.
I did what leaders do. I stepped up and I got the job done for the people of Minnesota.
Very shortly after this, she was unalived in her home by Vance Bolter. Vance Bolter and his wife worked for Tim Waltz for years in different states.
Just so you see. Okay. I like that. Let's call JD from now on JD Pence, like a two-faced idiot. Yeah, look, the problem with Vance is that he knew when he went on Joe Rogan, started talking about how tough it is to sell his book and start by promoting his book. Then he went on to say, no, the deal wasn't bad because of me. It's outside influence, right? The Jews, right? The Jews shouldn't have influence in a deal they're directly involved in because it involves their response to Hezbollah shooting them, right? They shouldn't get a say. Like, you can like JD Vance all you want. You gotta admit that was fucking stupid. That's either stupid or malicious. You can't call it. It has to be one of the two. You're either stupid or you're malicious if you're saying Israel shouldn't have a say or influence. Oh, all countries do it, sure, because Qatar does it to like the tune of fucking 351 million, if I remember right. China does it to the tune of 450 million around there at the Farah lobby. I'm not even talking outside. If we're talking lobbies, the APAC lobby is smaller than the dentist lobby. They have different interests. You could say, well, you know, the dentist lobby is just after teeth. Sure, maybe. Who knows? My point being, when you have 200 and I got to look back at the number, but it's over 200 is the minimum of all these lobbies from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, from all these people. And you're crying about the influence of AIPAC or the influence of Israel on a deal that directly involves them? Motherfucker, they're in the deal. What do you mean they can't talk about the deal? Part of the deal is how they respond to Hezbollah. They have to have a say in the deal. Oh, they're you know, it's the influence of. No, motherfucker, you know who broke your deal? The IRGC and Hezbollah. That's who broke your fucking deal. That's why I don't like his ass, because he's full of shit. And there's no amount of catching fraudsters at home, right? There's two very different things. You can catch some fraudsters at home. That's fine. That doesn't mean you can just lie. Yeah, I commend the task force and the DOJ for what they've done. I'm not gonna give the credit to Vance. Like if this just happened, that means Vance was in Pakistan when this was being planned and run. Yeah, he was in Pakistan talking to his boyfriend in the Pakistani army that he talks to as much as his wife, and you know, trying to make a deal that couldn't fucking work. Now I wanna hear Elon a little bit here because I think Elon's been doing a good job. Yeah, okay, I understand. Like you, Sassy, you're spitting a lot of truth here. All right. You're giving a lot of credit for a lot of good things that happen. But you got to understand when this guy has been outside of the nation for like around the last 3 months, right? I mean, yeah, the executive order was started in March 6th, but if you arrest people now and the guy, you got to understand these people are appointed to a task force. They have investigators do the shit. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. That doesn't mean that credit goes to Vance. Because the only thing Vance has been talking about doing is deals in the Middle East, flying to Paris, flying to Pakistan, flying to Qatar, flying to all these places to make deals. So he has no credit for these arrests. Yeah, I'm loving the arrest too. I think that's money that could be used to get all the illegals out because they're disenfranchising me and people like me. Oh, there's a follow-up on Doge. I'll check it out. I'm over here on Elon. Damn. Sassafras is my volunteer assistant today, keeping me up to date on what's going on. I'm gonna go to something here by Elon, but I'm gonna check up on Doge.
The populist right, but the far right. In fact, you support not just the populist right, but the far right. In fact, very
You support the populist right, the far
fringe
right.
parties in some countries.
No, I support the normal people.
Okay.
What you call the far right, falsely.
You think is the normal person. Okay.
Yes. Literally, you could go back 10 or 15 years, and these policies were completely normal. In fact, one of the tricks that I think is
I'm not sure. Let's see. One of the tricks that I think quite funny is to
it's funny. One of the things that's quite funny is to like take a speech from Obama and Hillary, and then go to someone and say, who's sort of on the sort of what I call the lunatic left, and say, what do you think of the speech by Trump? I'm like, oh wow, he's the worst person ever. Actually, that was a speech by Obama, or actually, that was a speech by Hillary.
I
caught him. Look at her like,
and I
Literally.
agree. No, I agree that the center of gravity in this country has shifted. Certainly, the Democratic Party shifted to the left. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people like Rupert Lowe.
Not
I'm
fringe
talking
right,
about
please.
people.
It's actually just normal people. It's just normal people. It's just normal people. And and here are the principles. And tell me which of these sound terrible. That we should have secure borders.
Do you think Saudi Arabia has the right to secure border? If they said that, I wonder if India said, I think we should have secure borders. Would you say, oh my God, that's so racist? I wonder if some country like South Africa said, I think we should have secure borders. Would you call them racist? Huh? If Turkey and Syria said, I think we should have secure borders, would you call them racist? No.
That we should have safe cities. That we should have sensible spending.
Oh my God, if Saudi Arabia says we're going to control our spending, inshallah, keep the money in the bank. Like, are you going to say that's that's so racist? That's so racist. That's Saudi Arabia, that Qatar, that Yemen, that Somalia, that South Africa, Egypt. Oh my God, they want sensible spending. That's so racist. Ridiculous. You just hate white people.
Which of those three are far right
Those
fringe?
three. No,
And I would like to just admonish you and the media for the absurd characterization of the far right. It is false and misleading and nonsense. Please keep this part in.
We'll keep all of this in. But
gotcha, bitch.
Don't cut this part.
Gotcha, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. Elon, like, I mean, I gotta see this movie. Like, say, a deal with Islamic Republic mediation by Pakistan falling apart and blaming it on the Jews seems like it belongs in the movie by Sacha Baron Cohen, the guy in The Dictator and Borat. Yeah, The Dictator is a movie that I haven't seen, but like I've seen clips of it, like funny little clips. Like in one he starts running and he has a gun and after he starts running, he shoots the gun to start the race. Some people are catching up and it was a real gun, so he starts shooting them. And they're like, "Oh my God, you won the race." Brother, she was so or sister, I don't know. She is so snooty. That interviewer was so snooty. All right, I'm gonna do what Sassy says. Sassy says check Doge. So I'm gonna check Doge. I listen to you, chat. You guys gotta know I listen to you. You give me the news, I'm gonna check it. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna play what he said about Doge. Let's find this link. Let's see what's going on here. I'm not even gonna read that. Thank you, Eric. Thank you. I'm subscribed. Well, I follow. I'm not subscribed. I don't got no money. I'm kind of broke.
Organizations or for something. Do you think they're going to say, but zero died because
Well,
of
that's
Doge?
what I. That's
0 people died because of what Doge did.
what I
Zero
would, that's what I would take issue with. because I think
when funding is stopped for fraudulent organizations or for something, do you think they're going to say? Do you think they're going to say, well, please keep funding the fraud, or do you think they're going to come up with a sad story that sounds sympathetic in order to get the funding restored? Obviously, it will be the latter, and that's exactly what they did.
in fact,
You
certainly
support
cause
not
unnecessary
just the-
suffering. I mean,
No.
no,
No.
you don't buy that at all.
It caused a lot of complaining.
You don't. So you don't buy the idea that anybody, and to put it really crudely and simply, any kid in Africa died because of the suddenness with which
Zero.
0 died.
That's right. I just don't think
You see how she has to wink her eyes, close her eyes, and shake her head side to side, but can't look them in the
I mean,
eye.
I've had people
okay.
reporting in Africa who. you know,
How many NGOs are there that could step in? Because bear in mind, it happened quickly. So there are literally tens of thousands of NGOs.
not everyone functions as fast as you do. If funding is cut off for antiretrovirals overnight, and it just stops, then people will die when they don't have access to them, and it just
only if they cannot get funding for that. But the Gates Foundation has $50 billion. What about them? What about any one of a number of organizations? What about
well, in lots of these countries, USAID,
Mackenzie, whatever her last name is, used to be Bezos, gave $50 billion.
Whatever her name is used to be Bezos. Okay, so Bezos's ex-wife took like $500 million in the divorce and put a whole lot of it into NGOs. Hello, surfing.
$1 billion. What about that?
But let's be practical. In many of these countries, USAID was the biggest funder. But I don't want to have an
USAID
argument
was a
about
political
this.
organization.
It may also have been that, but it was the biggest funder of healthcare systems. So I'm very
Biggest
sure that there
funder
was
of regime change.
and there may well be benefits from having changed
Also,
the system.
USAID funding was not stopped; it was moved to the State Department.
It was stopped. There were huge numbers of things shut down in Africa that were kind
No,
of
there were
health
claims
related.
of this.
There were
These
claims.
are false. They're nonsense, and absolute nonsense.
She's just like, oh fuck, what am I gonna see? She's calling me a bullshitter. She's not that. He's not dancing around it. Because you got to understand, she has no names. She's like, name them, name the organization. You're making these wild accusations. Can you name them? I'm gonna like. Okay, the Washington Post seems to be reporting that Doge is alive. I have another clip here about Doge that I think we should check out. Because I think the fraud that we have in the government is one of our biggest weaknesses. And it is a mark of our strength that we are function well despite of the fraud.
I think I got a little too involved in politics, got carried away, frankly. So the the goal with the sort of Doge stuff was to try to do something about the deficit, which is massive, where the interest payments exceed the amount of money spent on the Department of War. Like
Yes, this is very important to understand.
basically, if you add up all the money spent on what is now the Department of War and the and intelligence in the U.S., that is smaller than the interest payments on the debt. So that we need to sort of take a close look at spending, and make sure that money is being spent in sensible ways and that it is not wasted or spent on fraudulent activities. And
Makes sense to me. Like, what's wrong with this?
I got a lot of flack from this for this, obviously, but the people don't understand just how simple it was for the Doge team to approve payments. If we had literally we just asked to have the contact information of the recipient, or some evidence that say money was going to its intended purpose.
They didn't have that before. I want you to like understand this. This is what they didn't have before. Okay, I want you to understand what they didn't have before. This is what wasn't part of receiving money from USAID and many places. This is what was asked.
We just asked to have the contact information of the recipient, or some evidence that say money was going to its intended purpose.
Because they didn't have any evidence of this, a lot of the frauds just stopped calling. They're like, oh shit, I don't even want to call because it's like, call, what if it's a trap? What if they're going to catch me? Because they're frauds. You understand what I'm saying? You understand? Like, yeah, no, you called about this free pizza coupon. It's worked for you many, many times, but now we're scanning that this is an old coupon. Do you mind if we go by and get like the original coupon that you sent the picture of? Maybe it was like a Photoshop picture. Can when we deliver the pizza, can you have that ready? Oh, what? You don't want the pizza anymore? Because it's a fraud. That's why a lot of the money that Doge stopped paying is because the people were defrauding them with no backup, no plan, no. It was so easy that they stopped trying to cover it up. And when there was no cover, they just stopped asking for the money. Because they knew if they're investigating and they send some bullshit, and maybe they weren't even going to look hard, but you don't know that they're not going to look hard. So you just step away. I already took millions. What, am I going to get greedy? I took $10 million from these people so I could do transgender plays in the jungle that I never made. I just kicked up an envelope to the local leaders and sent some envelopes to the US with some cash in it. I took 10 million and I paid 8 million in bribes and payoffs and kickbacks. I got 8 million. I'm not gonna keep calling. I'll just retire with 8 million. You understand what I'm saying? They got comfortable, but they got so comfortable that with what they took, they can retire.
But over and over that we're told, oh, we need to wire money for some sort of important cause in Africa, and we're like, okay, but the wiring instructions are to Deloitte & Touche in DC, in Washington DC, not to Africa.
Yeah, why is this money that's supposed to go to Africa going to a bank in DC? Why don't you answer that? Oh, they stopped asking for money?
So we would like to send the money to Africa. Can you please connect us with the recipients so we can send them the money directly? And then we get silence.
Ah, what are you going to say about that, bitch? What are you going to say about that? You going to make an ugly face? She ain't going to say shit. That's what she's going to say. I want to show you how this money gets laundered. Because, okay, you take this money in Africa, but how do the Democrats get that money? How did that money go to the Democrats? Like, what do you mean the money like went to Democrats? What do you mean? How did the Democrats get this money? I don't understand. I'll show you. Check this out.
Yeah. It says here that you've donated $150,000 in the last 5 years to various campaigns, and that you've made nearly 15,000 donations.
I doubt it.
You want to see it?
15,000, yeah.
15,000 separate donations on the computer. Did you make 15,000 donations in 5 years? $150,000?
150? Hell no. I don't have that kind of money.
Do you have internet?
Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
Do you have a computer?
No.
No? So how could you make all these donations?
I don't know. Are these all mine?
Yes, this is, now, there's 900 pages. I ran out of paper to print.
Okay, so what's going on is that Act Blue finds voter rolls that they get from wherever they get them, finds addresses, finds information from people that get doxxed, and start donating in those people's name into the Democrats.
Your board chairman said Act Blue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that had the signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much?
Let's go back again.
Board chairman said Act Blue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that
38 million contributions. That's not $38 million. Each one of those could be $100. Each one of those could be $1,000. Let's go again. You gotta, like, this Act Blue problem is a real problem.
said Act Blue accepted up to 38 million contributions in 2024 that had the signs of foreign origin. How much fraud is too much fraud?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question.
On advice of, I'm going to go to jail if I tell you, I'm going to shut the fuck up.
Pursuant to my Fifth Amendment.
Fifth Amendment is the right to not incriminate yourself.
Rights under the Constitution.
How many?
38 million contributions of various monetary values.
How many foreign contributions did Act Blue accept?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question. Pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Oh, Nelly.
How much money did Act Blue accept from Russia?
On the advice of counsel.
Oh.
So I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Why did your entire legal team quit?
Under your advice of counsel, I can't tell you why my counsel quit. I want to run that back.
Amendment rights under the respectfully
How much money did Act Blue accept from Russia?
Under the Constitution.
I want to run it back. Where is it here?
Counsel. Rights under the Constitution. On the
I think
advice
it's here.
of counsel.
Oh my God, how
fraud is too much fraud? Or an origin. How much fraud is too much fraud?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment.
This guy's
rights
just
under
laughing.
the Constitution.
This is hilarious.
How many foreign contributions did Act Blue accept?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
How much money did Act Blue accept from Russia?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Why did your entire legal team quit? Your in-house legal team.
On the advice of counsel.
What, new counsel? Didn't your counsel quit? Even she's kind of laughing at that one. This guy's holding it in. This lady is shocked.
So, I respectfully decline to answer the question pursuant to my Fifth Amendment.
She's holding it and she's like, oh, you got me, motherfucker.
Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Did your legal team quit because of reduced fraud standards?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question.
Well, does she know how to play the game? I mean, she got paid. She would have to escape the USA or not get charged. The problem is we had Pam Bondi and people that are not throwing the big ones in jail. I'm glad to see that there's more arrests going on, that they're going a little higher up the chain. But these middle people, these are the types that will snitch if you catch them. These are the people you got to grab and say, hey, you want to do 50 years? Or you want to start talking?
Pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Understand. And we won't keep you here all day, but let me just do one more. Did you weaken your fraud standards to help Democrats?
On the advice of counsel.
You know what? The Republicans can also play the whole, I'm going to ask you some questions for my ad.
I respectfully decline.
We could play that game too.
To answer the question, pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights under the Constitution.
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the good work you and your committee are doing.
I don't know if you saw, the New York Times is saying the Democrats were taking millions of dollars in foreign donations and may have been lying about it. Are you looking into this?
I can tell you that that is a priority of this administration and this Department of Justice, and it's something that a lot of people have been very worried about for a very long time, and you should rest assured that it includes the Department of Justice and it includes me.
All right.
I think that was wonderful. Listen, chat. I mean, you may ask me how many bananas I took out of the banana jar, but under the advice of counsel, I'm not going to talk about it. Okay? Okay. Oh my God. Look at this. Act Blue. $2, $2, $2, $2. That's accurate. Donations were made in my name with my home address in North Carolina to Act Blue candidates when I've never been to Kansas or donated to any candidate in my life. Like this is another person this happened to, right? I'm gonna get a little bit into the, where's my refund? If only, right? If only. Could you imagine that lady getting her $180,000 back? I think it would be poetic justice. Right? This is Sneeko. Sneaky Sneeko. Now, I have seen a picture of Sneeko, an alleged picture of Sneeko. I'll show it maybe later. This is an hour ago, right? U.S. strikes target telecommunications regulatory authority building in Bandar Abbas, Iran. Footage verified by Zarian Olsint. So there's a couple of videos here. Oh, yeah, that hit nice. Yeah. Things are happening. Things are definitely happening. All right. This may be some news from Cuba.
I'm going to tell you. You want me to give you details on our plan?
Yeah.
Okay, not today. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you this. No, here's what I told you, and this is the truth. The people who are in charge of the country don't know what they're doing. They don't know. They don't know how to fix their economy. They don't know how, they don't understand basic concepts. And I think the challenge that Cuba has faced for the last 15 years is they want to somewhat improve their economy, but they're afraid that if they improve it too much, they'll lose political control over people. That's the challenge that they face. So I think for us, we're looking for an opportunity to influence the direction that goes, because it's 90 miles from our shores, and we want Cuba to be prosperous. We want Cuba to be free. But in that sense, you know, on the level of detail you're asking me, suffice it to say that as long as the people that are in charge think the way these people think and act the way these people act, it's going to be difficult for them to make the changes that need to be made in order for Cuba to have a better future. Because they just really, they either, they don't understand it. Some of them are incompetent, and some of them just basically don't understand, and others are just so recalcitrant that they'd rather, you know, destroy the country than ever walk away from a failed ideology. Although I think the number of people in that category is less than it's ever been. But for the most part, it's just people that don't know what an economy is supposed to look like. They really don't. And because they've always relied on foreign sponsors. That regime has survived on you know, on subsidies from the Soviet Union and then from Chavez. This is the first time they don't have a sponsor.
This is absolutely true. If it wasn't for Venezuela's oil, they would be screwed. When oil prices dropped, they got screwed because Venezuela didn't have enough money from selling oil to get to, you know, help Cuba out.
That's giving them subsidies for free. And they don't know what to do with themselves because all they've done is freeload off these countries for all these years. The people of Cuba deserve better than that.
Really normal.
I think that's nice. Apparently we have a report here that Iran just threatened to hit Tel Aviv. Zipkin says, laughing my ass off, let them try. Look, I don't want them to try, but I don't think it's going to go well for them. Oh, Darlene Graham made an account here, and it's a government account.
You want me to give you details on our plan?
So one thing that I'll tell you here is that this is the person that it will be taking Lindsey Graham's place. I'm going to follow them. And apparently this person was involved in local politics, is prepared to do the job. And I think that's a good thing. So I'm glad that Darlene is going to be taking care of that. That makes me very happy. So here is a person that made up a whole bunch of like lawfare prosecutions. Special counsel Jack Smith has been criminally referred for prosecution after he got caught lying to Congress. Swift Justice Smith claimed he didn't spy on Republicans' text messages, but it just came out that he spied on dozens. Like, yeah, if you're spying for political aims, that is a bad thing. It's bad, okay? Like there's there's news I keep on certain bookmarks folders. He raised her for most of her life. Yes, but like, that was so long ago that this is like her own woman now, right? Like she probably follows in his footsteps, but very much walks the walk and talks the talk, because like as far as I understand, she has already been in political office. She has the experience to fulfill the goals here. So it's not just that she walks in his footsteps, but I believe, as I understand it, that she also walks the walk, not just talks the talk. So I think that's very important. Let me see what else I see here on the news. This is also breaking news that I wanted to put out there, because we saw yesterday how Mandami was talking about justice for Netanyahu. Okay, I don't think there's a reporter here, but what's being referenced here is that 2 Jewish men have been stabbed in New York City on the Upper West Side by a man. A man is in custody. This is Sora Mandami's New York City. Pray for the victims. Both expected to be okay. So these people, it is very possible that they will survive. I don't know if this is true. I saw on another post, but the source I saw is not as credible as Eric Doherty. But I had heard said that this person was screaming Allahu Akbar. I believe it's possible but I can't be absolutely sure. This is just basically sounds of the city. We have some lady officers here and some dealing with with the situation. Some men over here too. Like, sometimes I'm not gonna say I want them to respond to physical stuff, but sometimes when you're doing a little bit of crowd control, I'm okay with them being there. Like, I'm not misogynist. I understand they have their roles, but I just think there's things that men are better suited for. We have some unconfirmed report of BB's trip being delayed due to the war. So Dummy will have to wait. Yeah, no, he wasn't going to do shit. There are calls for Mandami to be arrested and deported. I think this is what I think, and I went over this yesterday. When Mandami was trying to have meetings and his staff was trying to have meetings with people in the fucking IRGC, in the Iranian government, and his staff was trying to have them over for, teas and crumpet or whatever, they should have let that meeting go. They should have let that meeting go, let them have the meeting, come in after the meeting, fucking arrest them for meeting, do the full investigation, get the full discovery, put them behind bars. We have other news here. Now, this is one of our patriots, one of our soldiers out there. This is James O'Keefe. Now, what people don't know is James O'Keefe have some of that Ranma magic where he can transform himself into a gorgeous woman. And when he does this, he records people spilling their guts, and people are, often do when they're in front of a gorgeous woman. He has this magic power, and now we're going to see this person confess to the beautiful, gorgeous, probably a double D with a thin waist, James O'Keefe.
Your photo? You're so cute.
A current Secret Service agent on Vice President J.D. Vance's security detail.
Look at him over here. Look at him. Look at him over here. Oh my God. I bet you were tired. I bet you were tired.
The security detail.
When he's like walking, like where are you?
We'll have a lease, a middle head, and
gives away vital high-level security.
He's not supposed to say that. Oh my God. What the fuck are you doing?
Security information to our undercover journalists.
What the fuck are you doing?
Different shifts.
Tells her about detailed future travel plans for the vice president, and even sends her pictures with location metadata revealing where the president's convoy was located, potentially violating both the Secret Service NDA and United States federal law.
Brother, you're in a high position of government, and all of a sudden, some beautiful woman says they want to have dinner with you. And you look like this. And this is how you look. Look at him. Look at him. If this is you, let me see if I got. If this is you, and some beautiful woman wants to meet with you,
it's federal law. And Tomas is fully aware of this.
Don't spill your guts. Well, actually, go ahead. You're a piece of shit. You probably should get caught. But I'm telling you, it's James O'Keefe. He's just hot. James O'Keefe is one of the hottest women in the country. I mean, he's not trans. It's magic.
Quote, I sign paperwork, so if I don't have to give out information, I never do, otherwise I get in trouble. You really have to stand in awe of the lack of self-awareness.
There ain't nothing secret about what we do.
Tomas Escato also reveals that he voted for Biden and that he hates Trump and Vance's immigration policy.
Oh. Okay, so here we don't know if he's saying that because he wants to fuck, or like, okay, so I'm going to give the guy this. if she said, "Oh, I'm a little conservative. I don't agree with Vance so much. I think the things are going a little harsh, but overall, I like Trump's work." He might have said, instead of "I voted for Biden," he might have said, "Well, I voted for Trump, and yeah, you should just date me because I'm very conservative." If she plays like she's a lefty, she's like, "No, I hate Trump. I love Biden. Immigration's gone to," like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, part of this is I don't know if that's true. I have to check. That could be just fucking men lying to get pussy.
Did you vote for Biden?
Yes, I did actually.
What do you think about like all the ICE stuff going on?
Yeah, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
They're employing taxes that shouldn't be employed.
You may have seen reports last week that someone attempted to break into Vice President J.D. Vance's home in Ohio. That incident prompted us to take a closer look. What we found in our investigation was an agent inside the vice president's detail who was actually revealing to a total stranger that the vice president would be visiting his home in Ohio days ahead of time. And while what you're about to see is an important...
Whoa. This motherfucker gave up future plans? This motherfucker gave up future plans? Now they got to change the plans.
Story. The security of the vice president and his family is our top priority. Now, under normal circumstances, our editorial policy is to request comment a day or two before a report airs. But in this case, we contacted the Secret Service a full week in advance of this report to ensure that nothing we report here would compromise the vice president's safety in any way. But even with those precautions, what we uncovered is troubling, and we felt this is important for you all to see. We hope that bringing this to light strengthens security and helps prevent future vulnerabilities in our government.
Can I see?
Brother, what the fuck is going on with the fucking... Oh my God. You know what?
So my streaming, because there's still like a...
He's basically exposing all the bullshit. He's exposing all the bullshit.
Your badge again with your photo? You said...
Protecting Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff. In fact,
like maybe he did vote for Biden.
The Secret Service agent is a holdover from the Biden administration. He was actually originally tasked with protecting Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff. In fact, he sent us this image.
Okay. Yeah, he probably did vote for Biden. That's probably the only way he got the job.
From a Christmas party in December of 2024, there he is with Kamala Harris.
How did you get picked to do vice president?
Not by choice, it's just they talk to you and they let you know, it's like, hey, eventually you're going to have to go down to D.C.
Okay.
All roads lead to D.C. now. So you can go to the president's detail, the vice president's detail, what we call counter surveillance division, so that's undercover stuff.
Note the irony, he's talking about undercover counter surveillance to a journalist wearing a hidden camera. Tomas Escato.
Like, you gotta understand, yeah, he may be a handsome man, but he's also a hot-ass chick.
Was often directly involved in the vice president's...
Not gay. I'm not saying he's gay. I'm just saying he's got that magic.
Transportation to and from his residence at the Naval Observatory, surveillance of the vice president's residence, and even protecting Vance's wife, Usha Vance, and their children. Here he complains again to a total stranger he just met about his assignment involving J.D. Vance's children.
So what are his kids like?
Go to school with them.
Oh.
Yeah, we follow them everywhere. There's a 24/7, there is no black cover. It's not like a babysitter or It's a weird one that we always talk about, like, what the fuck is this? But you can't do nothing.
Oh, you can't do anything.
Tomas proceeds to give our undercover journalist detailed...
Asshole. At least he didn't say anything stupid.
Detailed info with pictures about the specific methods used to transport and protect the vice president. It even tells her some exact times of shift changes on the Secret Service schedule.
So when he's walking, where are you?
Following.
Yeah.
Vice president, least a minimum head and now that I'm on the vice president's actual details, they're different because we have different shifts. We have shift.
That tells you how tired an operative could be at any given time when they do like their shift change. Like, it's a little bit of detail on just this, but you have to add it to all the information he already gave. So how many points on the graph before you just gave away the whole game?
Via text, J.D. Vance's Secret Service agent informs the stranger when he has picked up J.D. Vance's wife, and even mentions that he and Vance are currently at.
What the fuck are you doing?
Tomas even said.
You had one job. Tomás, ¿qué carajo tú haces, cabrón? Tú estás loco, tú estás demente, huele bicho.
Sends a selfie from inside a J.D. Vance's residence at the Naval Observatory. It's basically.
Okay, pause. That's a nice house. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, that's a lot of rooms. It's a lot of cleaning, all right? But you could keep some doors closed just so that it stays clean. And damn, like I could, I could see myself going there on vacation or some shit.
Secure location while the Secret Service is surveilling the vice president's home. While he's supposed to be guarding the vice president's property.
You know what I think? I think they got to start picking only married men, only happily married men, like with newlyweds and shit. Like when they're really, really happy with the wife and they're just like, they're a couple of years into it. Like maybe she's busy with the new baby or like a young kid, and he's basically just out doing the mission, but they're like still all lovey-dovey and shit. I think that's the best people. Like, some of them might not want to risk their life because they just got a baby, but picking these single motherfuckers isn't working out too. Castrati? No, we're not gonna make them sing. Come on, we're not using castrati. That's old Italian shit. We're not doing that. It is funny though. That is a funny comment. I gotta admit. You kind of like, know what you mean? I like, yeah, right. Amberly, come on, right? That house is nice, right? Okay, some people see here my point. Like, you want someone that is not hating life, is not so single that the first woman he sees he's gonna spill his guts. What you want is a person deeply in love and deeply paternal, because they're gonna look at life beyond now and understand that life beyond now means safeguarding the future, and that might inform their decisions. You got to know that they're brave people and have been brave people for a long time, but picking these single motherfuckers isn't working out. People with nothing to live for also mean they're dying to get laid. Like, you got to have some successful relationships.
Tomas is busy snapping selfies, texting our journalist. Now here's a picture that Tomas sent us taking off from Joint Base Andrews Air Force.
You're not supposed to show how you take the fucking beast out. What the fuck is this? He's showing the deployment. He's showing like just basic spilling the guts on the movement. You're not supposed to do this shit.
Space, you see the convoy vehicle going into the airplane, and some of these photos even had location metadata baked in the photos.
Brother, well, I can tell he's a fucking Biden hire because he didn't know about this shit.
It's worth mentioning that these pictures were taken a few months prior to sending them to our journalist. While they didn't give away the vice president's location in real time, they did give away certain routes that were used and the number of vehicles in the convoy, information which could be used in the future. This is a photo Tomas sent us from King Khalid International.
This is more recent because the Pro Max was like, what, a year ago, 2 years ago? That's a recent phone. 16?
Airport in Saudi Arabia. Here's a photo Tomas sent us loading the convoy into an aircraft at Munich Airport in Germany, where Vice President Vance gave a speech to the Munich Security Council. Again, metadata there.
This is so ridiculous. This is so absolutely ridiculous. How can you do this?
On the photo. Another image revealing the exact location at the presidential helicopter at JFK in New York. And we think perhaps most significant, he revealed the location where President Trump's convoy was driving through Emirates Palace in Abu Dhabi, May 2025. This convoy was transporting President Trump for a state visit with the UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. These photos are from Tomas Escoto's time during the Secret Service shot from his personal iPhone. His personal phone dating back to May, while on duty protecting the vice president and president, and all of this was sent to our undercover journalist. The Secret Service agent even goes on to detail recent visits to Minnesota, Tennessee, specify.
Oh my God. This guy's
that the Secret Service team was on location as per the procedure.
He went to Minnesota last week.
Okay.
So we sent out a team.
You have to understand, during the Biden administration, they cared more about optics than effectiveness. This means you're going to find whoever's in the Secret Service that has the right skin tone, a little dark, a little ambiguous. You don't know if he's Islamic. You don't know if he's Latino. So you got a little bit of wider nose, not full wide, just a little bit wide, right? You know, those lips, those aren't white lips, right? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? So he fit the bill for inclusivity. Bingo. A good agent would know you have to fucking clean your picture's metadata. You can show an old picture, but you should probably ask first. He's like, hey, man, I got a girlfriend. Hey, boss, I got a girlfriend. Can I show this? This is old. Can I show this? Can I show this? This is old. Everybody knows who we went through because it was on the fucking news. I can show this, right? What about this one? No, not this one. Okay, won't send that one, boss. Like, you can still front. You can still front, but you can be smart about it. This fucking DEI hire is a fucking idiot. You can still front a little bit if you got a good job. You got a little stability. The ladies like a little stability. That's the best stability. If you got stability, women love. No, he doesn't have white lips. Those brown to black. I'm mixed. Like I you know, I got, you know, cushion on the kisser. I got that shit. Like, you know, you can't just give away this metadata. This is something you ask your boss.
Ahead of time before he let them ahead of time. Okay. So they do the security advance for that. Depending on what it is, you know, you liaison with our field office out there, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and any other federal law enforcement.
Why are you telling him all this shit? To sound professional?
So depending on what we're doing, come up with a plan to.
I bet he's looking him straight in the eye, and he's so looking back that he's not looking down at the camera. You see, though, that's pretty big lips. Look at that nose. It's a very round Latin nose.
Where he's going to be at, the airport, the route.
But it could pass for Middle Eastern. If you told me his name was Abdul, I wouldn't argue. If you told me his name was Muhammad, I wouldn't argue. If you told me his name is Pablo, I'm not going to argue.
From each place he's going.
Yes, he's ambiguous. He's very ambiguous.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you said it all.
You see? If you told me his name was Sahid, I don't know any Indian names. Kumar, I might buy it.
I'll tell them we have someone else that we have to set that up.
Oh my God.
But I'd say he's South Indian.
Trip to Tennessee, the Secret Service agent also texts our journalist informing her which plane the vice president will be traveling in and when they plan to depart. He even texts her an image of himself in the plane, notifying her that he is on board with the VP.
Why would you? Oh my God. Don't you know that women love mystery? You would get more pussy. He's like, I can't tell you. I can't reveal it. I don't know. This is some things we can only tell people like a spouse or some shit like that. And no, I'm not trying to talk to anybody about this shit. This shit is very important. Even to my spouse, I couldn't tell. Like, I can't even tell my family. This secret stuff, top secret. I can't talk about it. I'm being trusted. I'm going somewhere. I can't tell you where I'm going. You know, I might be back soon. I might be back here tomorrow and pass by. I might pass by your crib tomorrow. It may be a couple of days. I don't know what's going on, but there's some stuff going down, and I gotta go deal with it. Is it bad stuff? I can't tell you if it's bad stuff. Is it good stuff? I can't tell you if it's good stuff. Because then you would know it's not bad. And then I would give away that we're not worried when maybe we should be worried. Women love a fucking mystery. Women love a mystery. And I'm not talking about married women that want to know when the fuck you're getting home because I got shit to do. I cook that. No. I'm talking about dating. I'm getting to know this guy, but I got to know more.
Even worse, Escato continues.
Yes, they're calling him Thomas. I don't know if his name is really Thomas, but they're calling him Thomas. But by his cadence, the way he talks, I think he is Latino.
Continues to detail Vance's future travel plans, revealing at the time that Vance will be visiting his home in Ohio for 4 to 5 days, and then will be visiting Florida for one night. Now, this is potentially a violation of the non-disclosure agreement that Tomas would have signed when joining the Secret Service, which states, quote, the unauthorized disclosure, unauthorized retention, or negligent handling of classified information by means of damage or irreparable injury to the United States or could be used to advantage by a foreign nation. I hereby agree that I will never divulge classified information to anyone.
Brother, that's like the most basic of grunts. That's a level 0 grunt. That's the most basic of basic grunts. He's acting like that's what he is. But when he's talking about eventually everybody goes to Washington, it means it takes a while to get there. Like, I understand what you're saying. Matt Millian is saying he is like a private 11 Bravo Secret Service agent fresh out of AIT. This is the most basic job, right? Out of like, you know, and I'm nothing against infantry. Like, I was in the infantry. But like the freshest rank private, right? Not private, you know, PV. He's talking about an E1. You're talking about an E1, ain't you? You're talking about an E1.
Unquote. And it may also be a violation.
An E1, not because you pissed hard on a test, not an E1 because you got in a fight. An E1 because you just fucking got there. Like, you just passed the basic. Yeah, you see? Yes, sir. You know what's up. That's an E1 11 Bravo.
Federal law. 18 U.S. Code 793, gathering, transmitting, or losing defense information. Now, in some Section D, it states lawfully having possession of photographs related to national defense and communicating or transmitting them to any person not entitled to receive them.
If you look back here, he's not even supposed to sketch it.
Person not entitled to receive them shall be fined or imprisoned, not more than 10 years or both. It's important to note.
So he could go to jail.
That the Secret Service could not confirm that the behavior exhibited by Tomas violates these laws.
Basically, yeah, fresh out of high school. Someone like you know why this matters? Why it's fresh out of high school? Because if he at least had a couple of years in college, he wouldn't be an E1. When we're talking about an E1, this guy went from high school to boot camp. Like, yeah, fresh out of high school, no college, no rank. You're not an E2. You didn't come in here an E3, a PFC, corporal. None of that shit happened. You're an E1. You got here fresh out of high school. That's the level of stupidity that we're seeing here. But there's no way that that's the level, because if he got to that duty, he's acting like that. But the level that he has, he should know better. He definitely should know better. But because they were looking for his look, Oh, he has an ambiguous race. We can put him in there and claim whatever. We'll put him in there.
Laws, but they did say they are potential violations.
I mean, do we really call it a haircut? It's basically a buzz, buzz clippers. You're basically getting buzzed. Clippers with a vacuum attachment.
Violations of the United States Secret Service Code of Conduct. Tomas is fully aware of this, as he mentions in one text to our journalist, quote, I signed paperwork, so if I don't have to give out information, I never do, otherwise I get in trouble. You really have to
really?
Stand in awe of the lack of self-awareness. All of what I just showed you is ironic because Escato has already given our journalist information about protective formations, times of shift changes, locations and times of travel, and even pictures of vice president convoys with location data. There is one more aspect to this interaction that caught our attention. Tomas reveals to our undercover that he voted for Biden.
Did you vote for Biden?
Yes, I did actually.
Okay, before I said maybe he was just trying to get pussy. No, now I believe he voted for Biden. Nobody else would have given him the fucking job. No one else was going to hire this motherfucker.
2020,
Yeah, I did too.
That was the first time I was able to vote.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
I was a citizen.
Wow.
Oh, shit. Oh, hell no. I wasn't a citizen.
I got my citizenship in 2018.
Okay, and look, I don't care about that. If he's legally a citizen and he's doing a good job, I don't care. But if he's fucking up,
Tomas got his.
The thing is, it kind of shows your loyalty because even if you did it right, so why are you favoring people that did it wrong?
Citizenship in 2018. He's been a Secret Service agent for 5 years.
Like you may even start sending some pictures after you run them by your boss and pretend like you're going over the line, like, hey, you're not supposed to tell anybody about this, but hey, here I am here I am there. You're pretending to be mysterious, but you ran this by your boss. Like, don't show this to anybody. This is just so that you know that I'm okay. Bullshit. You already told your boss, hey, I'm sending this to my girl. Is that cool? Yeah, that's cool. And you tell her, hey, don't show this to anybody, but just letting you know I'm safe and secure here on the mission. You understand what I'm saying? Bro, some ladies love that shit. Like, wow, he's got stability, but, he's also a little danger to his job. He's fucking, I don't know what to call it. We call him a Manilo. A guy that doesn't know how to Mac, doesn't know how to keep the mystery, doesn't know how to play like, a little hard to get, a little like, hey, you want this. I'm the prize here. You know what I'm talking about?
How long have you been as a Secret Service?
5 years.
5 years.
Oh my God. He shouldn't. Oh my God. This is infuriating.
Okay.
And that means he was placed into duty with the Secret Service after about 2 years of citizenship in America. Tomas also goes.
That's a great point. You've only been a citizen 2 years and already you're guarding the president. Wow.
Goes on to reveal that he hates President Trump and Vice President Vance's immigration policies.
What do you think about like all the ICE stuff going on?
I don't like that.
It's really sad.
I don't understand why they're covering their face. I don't agree with that at all. At the end of the day, we're public service.
Sure.
I really want
What?
to know what would happen if my sanity goes down to zero or like I make a wrong decision and I get assassinated.
You're allowed to see your face.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing secret about what we do. But why they're doing that, I have no idea. They got stopped to that stuff.
Yeah. It's
Brother, you know better.
terribly sad.
No, that is actually a sad thing. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
They're employing taxes that shouldn't be employed.
Oh man. Okay. Some of you don't know this, but in South Korea, Samsung is basically a branch of the government. Samsung is so big in South Korea. If you work at research in development at Samsung in South Korea, they basically assume you're a tripod. Like you could just whoop that thing, put it in the table, and it'll break the table. Like, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Is Samsung basically a branch of the government in South Korea? Let me know, Mad Millions. Yes. Yeah, I know my shit. You know, I'm smarter than the average monkey. Like Yogi's smarter than the average bear. I'm smarter than the average monkey. I know my shit. A Samsung. Oh my God. You work at Samsung and you in South Korea? Holy shit. An American saying, no, I work on research and development for Samsung. Oh my God. You could just hear like, what's that?
Now there, Tomas is actually allowed to express his opinions. It's his First Amendment right. If he was only doing that, this wouldn't be a story. We thought it was important to include that because it might provide some clues or context.
Yeah, but I'm not keen on letting new immigrants in the Secret Service. Now, we got to understand, like maybe this guy have been naturalized and just got his citizenship, right? Like maybe he'd been in the country for a long time, didn't have a record, because there's certain things you got to have to go through that, right? But you know what? No matter what, like I'm trying to steel man this guy, but having this much experience and making this many mistakes means that he wasn't up to the job. He should have been fired long ago. Putting him on Secret Service was a bad idea because he just got naturalized, but it was a good idea if you're Biden and when you want to show people how you're getting citizenship for people, how you're down with the immigrants, how everybody who should cross the board is going to get some citizenship. That's who you want on your team. Like for the purpose that he was hired, he was great. For the new purpose, oh my God, you the man. I know my South Korean shit. There's also so many hot South Korean chicks. Oh my God, I saw Asmongold playing this game called 5 Hearts, 1 House or some shit. That shit was crazy. Like I put it in the background while you're cleaning the house or you're cooking or some shit. Bro, the South Korean women are hot as fuck. Like, you know, it's I get it.
Text as to why he was displaying.
Okay, so here Roman Vikings say if you don't have a record, it's too dangerous for foreign agents. Yes, because we also have something called it's no bueno. Yeah, no es bueno para nada. Es muy malo. Because you also have deep cover. We also know about lots of people that get, infiltrate and they have they're in deep cover. They're in for many years and they have a mission. Yeah, the Democrats wanted to hire guys just like him, DEI at its finest. Korean women are underrated. Yeah. Like, I don't want to make it a fight between the Korean women and the Japanese women, but if it was, I mean, I don't know if the Japanese will win. I don't know. I don't think so. It'd be tough. It'd be tough.
Playing this behavior. Whether Tomas is merely inexperienced and loose-lipped, intentionally sabotaging the vice president's security, or just plain stupid, well, that's unclear. But what's certain is this should not...
I'm going to go with just plain stupid. But also, oh man, a little malicious.
Not be happening inside our Secret Service, particularly after the serious security lapses in 2024 that led to the head of the Secret.
The Japanese have samurai swords. Yes. But I mean, unless you're, getting a brisk, you're not really gonna. It's another topic, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're gonna chop the calamari, and it's that's a whole separate subject. Please just what's up.
Secret Service resigning after what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. And why do we think this is an important story? Well, most importantly is the protection and the security of the vice president.
Like, I wonder if she would have said, oh, well, I voted for Trump, or I'm kind of like a little bit on the right. If he would have bullshitted his way and said, oh, yeah, no, you know what, I've changed my mind. And I think like, You know, they're underrated. They are doing good work, and I believe in the mission. Bullshit is his way and been more secure. Oh, I can't tell you, like you know, you voted for them, and I gotta protect them, so I can't tell you as much. You understand what I'm saying? Like you understand, like you would be more protective if you're pretending you care about the people. If you don't care about the people, maybe you reveal more information. I'm over here and here there with this motherfucker. Like trying to act like I don't care about that motherfucker. I hate him as much as you do. You understand what I'm saying? Like the fact that like the politics matter.
Of the United States. And we hope this story leads to better.
Okay. I got a comment here. I don't believe in stupid anymore. That's what lefties hide behind. Like when you catch Somali fraudster, they pretend to not know English. No. Like there is stupid and there is evil and there is stupid evil, right? I always like to say, right? Never take as stupidity a long-standing pattern of malice, right? And other people like to say, "Oh, never, assign to malice what could just as easily be stupidity or some other version of that." And I like to say, no. I would say never assign to stupidity what is a long-standing pattern of malice. Some people have a pattern of malice, like you could tell they know what they're doing, and some of them, yeah, for sure. But this guy was also just stupid. Like when you got an individual case, you got to be okay. That guy's just an idiot. Like what he did is still also evil. It's still also a little politically motivated. Like I'm not gonna take that away from it, but like I understand how you're right, but you got to understand how you don't want to give them too much credit or too little. You got to give them just enough. Because if you give them too much credit, you're like, okay, so that guy's obviously, you understand what I'm saying? And by the way, about those Somalian guys, they get trained. They weren't smart enough to come up with the whole scheme by themselves. A lot of these people get trained by fellow Somalians, by some people in government, I suspect, but they get trained.
Security and better protection than what we're seeing here. We're confident that it will. We hope it sends a shockwave through the Secret Service that deters bad actors and unprofessionalism in a way that, for example, Inspector General never could. And we hope that it leads people with information to come to O'Keefe Media Group and Citizen Journalism Foundation. We hope that it encourages people to tell other stories like this, to root out malfeasance in our government, and to force people to do the right thing, to force people to do their jobs. And if you know the American people are being lied to,
this guy's a badass. I'm going to end with him. He has also been on the corruption and fraud that's been going on. So I think, that's important to check out. That's Mr. Keith. You should check him out. Let me see what else we got here. What can I show you guys? Let's go over to YouTube. What do we got here? We got Liberty Politics. Anybody who's on my channel and is not following Liberty Politics, you should go ahead and do that. And if you want to help the monkey, you want to help my channel, I'm trying to get to, I don't know, 755, I guess. I'm not trying to have like big goals, just, steady, like I've only been doing this like a month maybe, and I got 73 videos. I'm like trying to do the hard work, trying to put the work out there. You guys get to know me, get to understand when you can find me. And, there's my link. There's my link. And, there's one thing that I really like to tell you guys before I go. I'd like to say, bless you all, bless your health, bless your wealth, bless your family, your loved ones, your homes, and everything you touch. Peace.